Hey guys, before we get into the video, I want to let you know I'm doing commissions now. That's right, that means I'm doing drawings for you. If you guys want me to do a drawing for you, like you and Timmy Turner granting somebody a wish, or you and Danny Phantom fighting like 10 ghosts, or maybe drawing one of your characters, anything else, a Marvel character, any comic book character of any kind, anything you want me to draw, let me know, and just click the link down below in the description. That's right, doing drawings for you. Hey Heart fans, thanks for tuning in this week. Alright, I did a video a while back called Adult Cartoons as Kids Cartoons. You can check it out right here. But I thought I would switch it up and do the opposite this time. So we're going to take preschool cartoons and age them up as if they were all grown up. So here we go. Preschool cartoons all grown up. Check it out.
I like this. It's very grown up.
Okay, we're going to start off with one of the biggest preschool shows to come along in recent memory, Dora the Explorer. Okay, picture this. She's all grown up, and you know, Dora is a brave little girl, right? She's a brave girl. She's got her little monkey boots there, follows her around. But I think when Dora grows up, you know, she's not a little girl anymore. I think she's an adventurer still, got that thirst, that hunger for adventure. I think she, you know, she wears kind of the Lara Croft outfit, you know, the half shirt, the really cool shorts with the weapons on her legs and stuff. She's really good at swinging through the jungle, like she swings on vines. She's not afraid of anything. And I think Boots has grown up too. Boots isn't just a little monkey anymore. He's like a full-fledged, really muscular ape dude now. But he still wears the boots. Come on, he has boots. I think she would be just all about adventure. She'd probably be packing some heat, you know, probably a couple of guns. I don't show them shooting anybody though, but you know, I think she'd have some weapons. She got to defend herself in the jungle after all, right? And of course she has her backpack with the map. So this is Dora the Explorer, all grown up. Doc McStuffins. Okay. Here you got a little girl who takes care of stuffed animals, sewing them back together, putting them back together, making them healed. You know, that's great, really noble. But I think when she gets older, maybe things turn a little weirder for Doc McStuffins. I think maybe she uses her medical abilities to, I don't know, maybe put different parts of different animals together in a weird way. Maybe it's like Sid from Toy Story. Maybe she's like, you know, taking a leg off of a tiger and putting it onto a dog, and the head of a cat onto a bear. I mean, it could get really weird for Doc McStuffins. I think this show would be like a real heavy, real medical show like House, or Grey's Anatomy meets Dr. Frankenstein. This is Doc McFrankenstein. Okay, next up, Bubble Guppies. Even just saying the words Bubble Guppies, you feel like you have syrup all over you. It's just so cute. And these are very cute characters, but I think these little cute mermaid characters grow up into super hot-looking adult mer people. I think it's like a mixture of, like, you know, Point Break, Baywatch, and, you know, the movie Splash and Little Mermaid. I think you got 4 movies mixed in there. Just, I'm talking, you know, extreme sports in the water, you got the mermaids doing their thing over here, you got them rescuing people, you got them just like flexing on the beach. I think they all glisten in the sun because of the water. So this is my version of the Bubble Guppies, all grown up, looking awesome. This next one is a little bit weird because, you know, we had to include this because it was just too good to pass up. And I'm talking about, of course, the Teletubbies. It's just a weird show. You have a baby in the sun, and the Teletubbies are sort of anthropomorphic creatures with no other expressions than their smiles. They don't have any hair in their face. You can't tell if they're boys or girls. They're just really weird, and I just think, you know, we just have to weird them up even more. I think we just make them a Jack Kirby sort of inspired kind of a show. They're all grown up now, so what would these guys do? First of all, I think they would, you know, get a lot slimmer and trimmer. They'd be a lot in better shape. They'd probably, because gosh knows where they're from, what universe they come from. So I'm thinking, first thing I thought of was like a Jack Kirby, Stanley, kind of a universal adventure, like an Infinity War thing, where these guys just come out of a portal and just bring their own brand of happiness to unwilling citizens. Maybe they have energy they shoot out of their hands now, and maybe they're big and scary and they're really heavily inked. I think you call it Teletuffies. Okay, Clifford the Big Red Dog. This show has always freaked me out. I mean, you know, you got this little girl who has a massive red dog. I don't know what nuclear fallout, you know, dump site she lives next to. I don't know what genetic mutation this dog suffers from, but he's cute. It's just that he's giant. Imagine cleaning up after this dog. Anyway, I think all grown up, you have Emily Elizabeth, she's grown up, so she's really, you know, I'm sure she's very comic book, really great looking, and I think that Clifford kept growing, it just hasn't stopped. So Clifford really, even though he's a sweet innocent dog, has actually turned into a monstrous villain in a way, because every time he takes a step, he destroys a city. So I think this is Clifford accidentally destroying whatever city he lives in, and he's become a pariah, and you know, this is really turning dark. I should just stop. All right, I couldn't do this video without including one of the most iconic preschool shows of all time, Sesame Street. All right, so I'm thinking this. We take 21 Jump Street, combine it with Sesame Street, and we put them together, and we have like Bert and Ernie undercover at a high school. There's some big shipment of something coming in, and of course the bad guy, I think, is like Cookie Monster, because there's a huge shipment of, like, you know, illegal cookies coming in. So that would be, man, just imagine how the street value of these things would just be through the roof. And so you're talking like massive cookie, you know, bad stuff happening. And I think the bad guys who help Cookie Monster are like Elmo, because you know he's up to something. He's way too innocent looking. And Big Bird is the muscle, because he's just so big. So here's the thing. I just think this is called 21 Sesame Street.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
Wait, where's the mail? Someone has stolen the mail. You know who it's up to find out? It's up to Blue's Clues. Now, I think Blue's Clues, Blue the dog, has grown up now. So Blue isn't just a cute little puppy anymore. Blue has fangs. Blue can fight. She was a sweet little puppy, but man, she has been through it now. She's solved some crimes. She's seen things you don't want to see. And Steve, I think, went from being just a real nice guy in his golly striped shirt. I think Steve's been working out. I mean, Steve is rugged. I think there's been a couple moments where they've had to really get down and dirty, Steve and Blue. So I think these two are really into the crime scene now, and they solve some serious crimes, but they are like Sherlock Holmes and Watson. I think, you know, it's very Sherlock-like. There's a lot of mystery around Blue's Clues. I think, you know, the paw prints are still there. I think like Salt and Pepper talk and Paprika and all the little characters still talk, but they're all grown up too. Maybe there's an adventure where the mailbox has been kidnapped, and there's a trail of mail, and there's paw prints on the mail, and Blue is gonna sniff it out with the help of her rugged partner, Steve. You know what I think? I think maybe Joe is the bad guy. Okay, last but not least is the most popular preschool show here on YouTube, Peppa Pig. And this is called Peppa Pig Strikes Back. And what is she striking back against? She's striking back against those weirdo filmmakers who make all those horrible Peppa Pig meets Elsa meets Spider-Man videos. And, you know, in this corner we have Elsa and Spider-Man over here just minding their own business. They're just nice people. Spider-Man fights crime, Elsa likes to sing, they're having ice cream over here. And who's the creepo here? The creepo is the filmmaker who's trying to make this bad video. So Peppa Pig just comes out of the YouTube channel, out of the computer, and strikes the creepo filmmaker with her Peppa spray. So this is Peppa Pig Strikes Back. Go Peppa. Hey art fans, thanks so much for tuning in today. Okay, a lot of you have been suggesting that I do some adult cartoon drawings. Okay, not a bad idea. You know, I could draw like Family Guy, Simpsons, Rick and Morty, and I could probably replace, you know, Rick's, you know, flask with a juice box, something like that, because I tend to lean a little bit more toward the kids end of things. So you know what? I'm going to combine the two. I'm going to draw some adult cartoons as kids cartoons. Check it out.
Come on down South Park and meet some friends of mine.
Okay, South Park. Now, I think this is a really funny cartoon. It's been around for a long time, too. I remember when it first came out. South Park really lends itself to sort of combining with Charles Schultz's Peanuts characters, because it's the only cartoon I'm going to draw today that features kids as the stars. Doing Cartman, Kyle, and Stan as Peanuts characters is a lot of fun, and I, of course, drew them in the classic Charlie Brown Christmas pose where they have the sad little Christmas tree. And I couldn't do a South Park Peanuts drawing without putting Snoopy and Kenny in it, so I combined Snoopy with Kenny, and Snoopy's kind of hidden with Kenny's parka over his face. So here you go, South Park as the Peanuts characters. I took Bob's Burgers. I'm thinking, what can I do with Bob's Burgers? What could I possibly do? But then I thought, hey, there's another very famous Bob who has burgers, and it's a kid's cartoon, and it's SpongeBob. So I thought, let's put Bob from Bob's Burgers combined with SpongeBob and put him in Bikini Bottom, and take Bob's wife Linda, who actually has kind of the same shape as Patrick Star, and make her Patrick the Starfish. So here's Bob's Burgers as SpongeBob. I call it SpongeBob's Burgers. Next up is Archer from the FX channel, and Archer has a really cool look to him. I really like the way this cartoon looks, and of course Archer's a detective, so I thought, hey, why don't we just take Archer the detective and put him with one of the most classic cartoon kid detective shows ever made, Scooby-Doo. So here is Archer combined with Scooby, and they are on the hunt for a ghost, or maybe a very attractive female. I can't really tell. Next up is Futurama. There's a classic animated cartoon by Hanna-Barbera called The Jetsons, so I thought, hey, let's put these two together. So here are the Futurama characters in a classic Jetsons car. I love that car. I love the sound it makes too. I don't think I can do it really. But anyway, here's a really cool Jetsons pose with Fry as George Jetson, Leela as Jane Jetson, and of course Bender as Elroy Jetson. Next up is Family Guy, and what I really wanted to do with this one was draw it in the style of one of my all-time favorite comic strips, Calvin and Hobbes by Bill Watterson, and I wanted to kind of capture the Calvin and Hobbes look with some real heavy, thick black lines and a real cool watercolor wash background. So this is Family Guy drawn in the style of Calvin and Hobbes. BoJack Horseman, pretty relatively new cartoon, not super old, it hasn't been around as long as some of the other ones, but really cool. I thought, of course, you know, you see a horse, you're like, wow, I've got to combine BoJack with one of the classic kids cartoons of all time, My Little Pony. But I wanted to do it like the updated version of My Little Pony. I wasn't a big fan of the 80s one back in the day. I actually worked on the original one back in the 80s. But anyway, here is BoJack Horseman as a modern day My Little Pony character. Alright, Rick and Morty. They are probably one of the most adult cartoons out there, and I thought let's take the opposite end of the spectrum and find one of the most kid-friendly entertainment shows out there, and I thought Sesame Street. So let's combine Rick and Morty with Sesame Street. Let's make Rick and Morty Muppets and put them behind like a classic table like they'd be operated by people, and let's take Rick's classic flask and replace it with an apple juice box, and lo and behold, you have Rick and Morty looking kind of like Bert and Ernie. Okay, The Simpsons, one of the longest running cartoons of all time. Also one of my favorite cartoons of all time. Really love The Simpsons. Anyway, I thought I would combine that cartoon with one of my longest running cartoons of all time, The Fairly Odd Parents. So here we go. This is Homer as Cosmo, Marge as Wanda, and of course Bart Simpson as Timmy Turner. I call it The Fairly Odd Simpsons. Hey Heart fans, what's up? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Boom, done. Thank you. It means the world to me that you guys are here. Okay, GOT. No, doesn't stand for good old T-Rex. Nope, doesn't stand for that. Stands for Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Not a very family-friendly show. Very cool stuff in the show, but some not so family-friendly moments. What I'm going to do is draw the characters as if they were in a kid's cartoon. So let's do this. Game of Thrones is a kid's cartoon, starting off with Daenerys Targaryen, the Dragon Queen. Check this out. Okay, so the Dragon Queen, Daenerys Targaryen, or Dany. We'll just call her Dany for this show. This will be a cool kids cartoon, I think. If, you know, the Dragon Queen just flew around on a pink dragon and had dragon friends who flew in the sky with her, and she went on adventures. If we're going to make her into a kids cartoon, let's just really make her look super cute and just really fun. Like a Sophia the First kind of a vibe, a Disney princess kind of a vibe, with a little Fairly Odd Parents thrown in there. Hey, I got to do that, right? But make her as cute as possible. So these dragons wouldn't be deadly; they would be very, very cute. So I just think that if we're going to turn this character, Dany Targaryen, into a preschool character, let's just make it as cute as possible, a lot of fun. Of course, the show would have to be educational, so we'd have to bring along Tyrion, her aide in her castle, bring him along to help us be educated in the things of the world. So Dany would fly all over the place and learn about different parts of the world, different cultures, different foods, different clothing, all that stuff. So this is Game of Thrones as a kid's cartoon, the Dragon Queen edition, and of course, if it's preschool, it's educational. All right, there we go. The Dragon Queen as a kid. Cute, right? Okay, I think this character coming up next is probably one of the top 2 characters on the show. Probably, well, top 3 easily. But played by Peter Dinklage, Tyrion Lannister as a kid's cartoon character. Check it out. I think making Tyrion Lannister into a kid's cartoon would be a lot of fun because he's a traveler. He's traveled a lot in the show. He's gone everywhere, had tons of adventures, survived tons of harrowing, life-threatening situations. And I just think it'd be an adventure show with Tyrion. I think Tyrion would be traveling the world in his cool sailboat and just, finding out what is in the world of Westeros. I mean, what kind of cool educational, fun kid things could we find? And of course, no kids cartoon would be complete without a bird friend, a toucan named Flippy. So here's Flippy the toucan with Tyrion Lannister searching the world, kids cartoon. It's educational. Okay, that's one version of what he would look like as a kid's cartoon character. Coming up next, one of the scariest characters on Game of Thrones. We're not doing too many villains this time around, but this guy's pretty bad news. But let's make him into a kid's character and see if he's still bad. I'm talking about, of course, the frosty cold Ice King. Here we go. Now, in Game of Thrones, he's a very bad guy. He's a mean, scary bad guy. But I think there's another side to the Ice King. I really think that the Ice King just wants to play and have fun. We need to do a show about the Ice King when he was a kid. So I think this is the Ice King adventures of him in the ice world, like when he was just having fun with his penguin pal and his walrus buddy, and just, snowboarding on pieces of ice and just having some ice cream made of actual ice and just having a great time. So this is the fun and adventures of the Ice King as a kid's cartoon. It's educational. Okay, there you go, the Ice King. Still frosty cold, even as a kid. All right, if I was going to do this Game of Thrones as a kid's cartoon, what would you call it? Like, what'd you call it? Game of Thrones Babies? Or Game of Thrones : Recess? I don't even know what you'd call it. I mean, there's so many titles. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down in the comment section below. Okay, next character coming up, drawn as a kid's character. I'm talking about, of course, leader of the Dothraki and former husband of Daenerys Targaryen, Khal Drogo. Off we go. Okay, so this one's based on Jason Momoa's character, Khal Drogo, the leader of the Dothraki. Dothraki are a horse race. They ride horses. They're not horse people. They're people on horses. But I figure for the kids' educational preschool cartoon, we make him into a horse person. He's a guy who's just a horse. He's a horse dude, and he loves to play rock and roll music. He likes to rock out, because Jason Momoa looks like a rock star, so he likes to rock out. He's a horse. He is, drum roll, a rocking horse. That's right. He's rocking out. So I think it's just about music. It's about rock and roll. And you know what? If it's a preschool show, it's educational. All right, there you go, Khal Drogo as a kid's character. What are you guys thinking so far? Are we digging this video? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Still don't know the title. What would the title be? Game of Thrones. So would you call it Game of Cones? Like ice cream cones? Okay, last character drawn as a kid's character. Probably the top character people want to know what happens to all the time. I'm talking about, of course, Mr. Jon Snow. Jon Snow as a kid's character. Here we go. Okay, Jon Snow. Well, of course, his name is Snow. He's the king of the north, so we've got to give him some snow pals to play around with, of course. And I think his cartoon would just be the magic of the winter wonderland that he lives in. So I think he'd have to have a magical, fun, polar bear friend named Dave, of course, Dave the polar bear. And, of course, he would have a snowman pal named Chili. So we have Chili the snowman, Dave the polar bear, palling around with Jon Snow, making magic, fun stuff in the snow. So this is Jon Snow as a kid's cartoon. It's educational. There you go. Jon Snow. I just made a rhyme. I just made a rhyme. How cool is... That's right. Made a rhyme. Rhyme two words together. Boom. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome, mystery people. All right. There you go, guys. Game of Thrones as a kid's cartoon. What did you guys think? Do you think this could be a series, or any one of these characters could spin off into their own series? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Also, should I draw more Game of Thrones characters, or just stop now? Is it just over? Should I just stop? I probably should just stop. No, I'm going to keep going. You know why? Because I dared to utter the fact that I would stop, and I will never stop. I'm going to keep going as long as I want, because you guys are there, and you guys are Heart fans, and you're awesome. Thank you so much. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, don't forget, art and the Iron Throne gives you power. Use it wisely. Hey, Heart fans, subscribe here to keep up with me, Danny, Timmy, Dudley, Bunsen, and the NOOG Network, my new app full of cartoons, shows, and games. Download it here. Click over here to watch my most recent video, and here to start a playlist related to this video. Whoa, check out that awesome fan art. To be featured here, use hashtag HeartFanArt and tag me. I'm on every social media platform known to man. Cartoon Butch out. Pencil drop.